Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu. Krishnam Namasyamyaham. Krishne Namarasyatravo Vinahataha. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishna Deva Samudhitam Jagadidam. Krishnasya Dasosmyaham. Krishne Tisthati Sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Sri Narayana. With the blessings of Sri Chinna Swamiji, we are continuing chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita. We finished sloka 11. We'll start with sloka 12 today. Hope you are able to see.
Yes, sir.
Sloka 12. Please stand. Yukta karma phalam tyaktva
Yukta karma phalam tyaktva
tanti mapnoti naistikim ayukta kamakarena
ayukta
phale sakto nibadhyate.
Let's
chant together. Yukta karma phalam ayukta kamakarena phale sakto nibadhyate. Jai Sri Narayana. So Lord Krishna is continuing. Yuktaha refers to Karma Yogi, one who is devoted to self-realization, one who wants to be united with the self, one who is interested in self-realization. Karma Yogi, who is free from longing towards fruits other than self-realization, other than the self. Okay. So, Yuktaha Karma Yogi, Karma Phalam Tyaktva. After giving up fruits of the actions, Karma Phalam Tyaktva. After giving up fruits of the works, Naistikim Santim Apnoti. Apnoti attains Naistikim Santim, enduring peace. So after giving up fruits of the actions, attains enduring peace. Okay, so that is Yuktaha. Now Lord Krishna is saying Ayuktaha. So Ayuktaha is one who is not a Karma Yogi, who is not interested in self-realization. For that person, Kama Karena is being impelled by desires. Phale Saktaha gets attached to the fruits, or in the fruits, gets attached to the fruits in English, are the results. So basically, one who is not a Karma Yogi, because of the desires, or impelled by the desires, forced by the desires, or due to the desires, Phale Saktaha gets attached to the results. And what happens to that person? Nibadhyate is that person is bound. Okay? Bound by the karmas, whatever action they are doing. So if we are acting out of desires, we get attached to the results. Okay? And any activity that we do like that, it will bind us. And it will keep us perpetually in the cycle of births and deaths. So Yuktaha, Ayuktaha. Yuktaha is a Karma Yogi. What Karma Yogi does? Karma Phalam Tyaktva. So gives up the fruits of actions. Okay? Gives up attachment to the fruits of actions. Okay. So Karma Yogi is doing the activity. Main focus is I have to do this activity. This is my assigned duty. And this assigned duty, I need to do it as Karma Yoga. Okay. And the main goal is to clear my karmic bondage. When I do that, I attain enduring peace. Okay. So it is not like peace for some time, like temporary. It is enduring peace. It is permanent peace. Okay. And the opposite is what we most of us see in this world is we are motivated by the desires. We want to achieve something out of a desire and run after it to fulfill it. We get attached to the results, and when we do the activity like that, we get bound by the karmic bondage. We acquire the karmic bondage, and that will not give us enduring peace. Okay. So how should we do the activity? Based on this particular sloka, we can say that without attachment to the fruits of actions, right? We should do the activity. It's not like we should not be doing the activity. We have to do the activity. Should not run away from the activity, but without attachment to the fruits of the actions or results. Then attributing the actions to Prakriti. Okay, in the previous slokas, Lord Krishna said, right? So attributing the actions not to ourselves. These are my actions. No. These are actions that body is performing. Okay, with support from Paramatma. That is understood. And what is the purpose of doing the activity? The purpose of doing the activity is not to get a particular result. The purpose of doing the activity is for the sake of freedom from bondage, karmic bondage. So you have to keep that in mind. If I am doing the activity will produce some materialistic result. We can enjoy that, no problem. But the purpose of doing the activity is not for enjoyment of that particular materialistic result. The purpose is to clear our karmic bondage. Purpose is with the focus on self-realization, focus on the self. Perform it as Karma Yoga. That means without attachment to the fruits of the actions, without attaching the doership, right, to ourselves, attaching the doership to the Prakriti, supported by Paramatma. And so saying that these are not my actions, the Atma's actions, these are the actions of the body. These actions are attributed or are assigned to the body, not to Atma. Okay. And we are performing those actions to clear our karmic bondage. That is the summary of this sloka. Any questions on this? Okay. So karma sannyasa does not mean giving up the actions. It is clarifying how to do the actions. That is without attachment to the fruits of the results. That is the real karma sannyasa. Okay. So I'll move on to sloka 13. Okay, please chant. Sarva karmani manasa
सर्वकर्माणि मनसा
sanyasyaste sukham vasi
सन्न्यस्यास्ते सुखं वशे
navadvare pure dehi
Navadvare pure dehi.
Naiva kurvanna karayan.
Naiva
Naiva kurvanna karayan.
Listen together.
sarva
Sarva karmani
Karmani
manasa
manasa.
sanyasya
Sanyasyaste
sukham
sukham vashe.
vasi.
Navadvare pure dehi.
Dehi
Naiva
naiva
kurvanna
kurvanna
karayan.
karayan. Jai Shivana. So Lord Krishna is saying, Dehi. Deha means body. Dehi is one who possesses the body. That is embodied self or Atma. Sanyasya. Sanyasya is leaving. Sarva karmani. All the works. Sarva karmani. All works or all actions. Navadvare pure. In the Navadvare is 9 doors. Right? Puri means city. Or place, you can say, or city. So Navadvare Pure means in the city of 9 doors. What is the city of 9 doors? It is our body. Our body has 9 doors. This is a city. This is a place. Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, one who is possessing this body, the Dehi, that is the Atma, the embodied self, leaving all works in the body, okay, or to the body, leaving all the works to the body. How do you leave? Manasa, with the mind, okay. So sarva karmani manasa sanyasyaste sukham sukham vasi. Sukham vasi is sukham aste vasi, dwells in peace. Sukham aste is dwells at ease. So it is living in this, like we are living in a city, right? How do you live in the city peacefully? Imagine, okay, the condition that is given to us. You live in the city peacefully when you leave all the works to the body. Don't attach it to yourself. You leave it with your mind, like with your manas, okay. It's not that somebody is impelling you to do it. You are doing it with your manas. And then what happens is sukhamaste, is that Atma, that Dehi, dwells or lives in peace in that body. Okay. Vasi is being independent, being the master of itself. It is not a slave to the body. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't realize, but if we are not performing our actions or karma yoga, we are becoming slaves to the body. Right? We are driven by the body. Because the desires are bodily desires, right? Materialistic desires. So body drives us in one way and we are running after it. Atma is going after it, trying to attach itself to those things. Okay, so the goal is materialistic pleasures, the bodily pleasures. So the focus is on the body. So it's like the body is like those horses that is pulling the entire, the entire chariot, and those who are sitting in the chariot. Those horses are pulling us away. So should the chariot be pulled away by the horses to wherever they want to go, or they should go where the people on the chariot want to go, right? So unfortunately, we are becoming slaves to the senses, slave to the body. if we leave all the works to the body, don't attach ourselves to it, then we live in peace and we become independent. We become, we think, I mean, we are independent of the work, and the work is done by the body, so that is an instrument. We are also independent of the result. Imagine we attach ourselves to the result, we become slave to that result, isn't it? So if we are free from that, we are leaving the attachment of the result, then we are free. When we are free, we live in peace. Okay, so this Atma, the Dehi, which is leaving all the works to the body, is master of itself, is independent, is not affected by the body and the results, and it lives in peace. It dwells in peace in the Navadvare Pure, in the body. Okay. And then Lord Krishna says, Naiva kurvan na karayan, na eva kurvan. Neither doing anything, na karayan, nor causing to work. This is little confusing, right? So let us see. Neither doing anything for itself. The Dehi, which is independent, is not doing anything for itself. It doesn't have to do anything for itself. It is body is the basis. Body is the one that is doing the work. Okay, and it is also not causing the body to work. Okay, so there is no desire to. I mean, it is not causing the body to work for bodily pleasures. Body is working, if let us say body is performing an activity, that it is the body that is engaged in the Prakriti that is doing the work. It is not instigated by the Atma. Because this Atma is not forcing the body to work for itself. It is not causing the body to work. Right? So there is nothing that the Atma needs to do using the body for itself. The body has to do the Karma Yoga. It is interacting with the Prakriti and performing the actions. That cleans Atma, right? So Atma in its pure form does not need body to do anything for itself. It is full by itself. It is, I mean, there's nothing that you have to gain from the body, right? So apart from the desire to clean ourselves, okay, which is not materialistic desire, there is nothing that the body needs to do which will help Atma, isn't it? Atma doesn't need money or pleasures, all these are related to the body. Okay, so body, when body is performing the activities, do the activities as Karma Yoga. Okay. Right. It is not to gain something. Okay. For us. In fact, it is to lose something. We will be, I mean, if you think that karmic bondage is something that is, it's like a weight on us, then we have to lose that weight to become less fat. So, but of course, again, losing fat, these things are materialistic, just for our understanding, you're saying. So there is nothing that will, that the body needs to do to give something to Atma. Okay, so if we keep that in mind, then we will be free from the desires. Right? There's nothing in it for me, except to do the activity as Karma Yoga, as whatever is assigned to me. So body is doing the work because it is its nature. It's not like we have to force the body to um, work in order to gain something. Okay, so if I'm doing, like, if Atma has to make the body work, right? Then that attachment also comes, right? It is not that Atma has to do some work and it needs body. No, body is doing the work. Body will clear when body does the work with that knowledge, right? It will clean the Atma. So when it performs the Karma Yoga supported by Jnana, it is cleaning the karmic bondage. Okay.
So that means the mind and intellect, that's where you come into play, right? I'm just trying to, the body doesn't know, right, what to do and all those things. So that's where the
Right.
mind, that's where I think they're using the jnana, atma jnana, right? That we are not doing the work. Sorry. And we are not attached to the results and all those things like that.
All are part of the material body only.
Yeah.
The body, mind, intellect, and senses, these are not Atma.
Yeah, they're outside of that, yeah.
Right? With all these, the body is working. We're not saying that the body should do whatever it wants. Right? Body has to perform Karma Yoga. But Atma is not gaining something. Like, it's not like it has to, it will become full when body works in a particular way or it's like this. If I don't have money, let us say, I work in a company and I get salary, then I earn money, right? So I was not having money and I get money, and then then my desire is fulfilled, right? There's nothing for for Atma. Like, Atma does not need anything from the body. Doesn't have to make the body work in order for it to become something different or full. Atma by itself, again, we'll come to it. We are carrying the karmic bondage, and the karmic bondage has to be cleaned. Okay, but Atma doesn't have to gain anything to become full. Okay, so there's nothing that Atma needs to do. No, so it doesn't have to um, uh, cause the body to work for its sake. Okay, if I'm thinking that, oh, I have to make the body work for my sake, then the attachment starts. You are attaching yourself to the body, to that work, right? How can you get not have attachment at all? Because then when you delink yourself from the body completely, there's nothing that you have to, that you need from the body. Let the body do its function, right? It's not like I have some self-interest in it. Okay. To gain something that the body can give me. So it is, so Atma is independent. It is the master of itself. It is not dependent on body. Okay, we have to remember that I am not dependent on the body. I am the master. I am the master of myself. Okay, I should not be become slave to the body. Okay, I do not need body, something from the body. I have to do, I have to let the body function in a particular way. Again, that is mind, mind and intellect come into picture, driving the senses to perform the activity as Karma Yoga, supported by that knowledge. All that is body activity, right? Then it cleans the karmic bondage that Atma is carrying. So there is, I mean, most important thing is that to not have attachment at all to the action, to the results of the action, not attach ourselves as a doer to that action that body is doing. Body is performing the action. Body is the instrument. It is body's work it is doing, and body is getting the result. I have nothing to do with any three of them. Okay.
Jai Shri Narayana, sir. Sorry, late.
Just a minute. Okay, so we'll start sloka 14. Please chant. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः
लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः
न कर्मफलसंयोगम्
न कर्म
कर्मफलसंयोगम्
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते
न कर्तृत्वं न
कर्माणि
लोकस्य
सृजति
प्रभुः
न
कर्मफलसंयोगम् स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते.
Lord Krishna is continuing. Prabhu is the master. Master who is the ruler of the body is Atma. Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, na kartrutvam, na karmani, na karma phala samyogam srujati. Okay. Srujati means create or gives rise to. So this master, that is Atma of the body, creates or gives rise to three things. Na kartrutvam, neither doership, neither doership, na karmani, nor the works, na karma phala samyogam. Karma phala samyogam is samyogam is a bond, okay, or connection. Na karma phala samyogam is not the connection between karma and phala, that is a fruit. That is not the bond or connection between action and result. So, lokasya srujati prabhupada. Lokasya is to the world of embodied beings. Lokasya is sixth case, but in English we can translate it as to the world of embodied beings. So let us, so previous loka translates into the, or transforms into this loka. So Atma does not create or does not give rise to doership or the works or the attachment to the results of the action to this world of embodied beings. Okay, so what does that mean?
Won't give the karmic bondage.
If it basically if we perform the activity without attaching doership to ourselves, without attaching to the work itself, and without having attachment to the fruits of the actions or the results, that is the karma yoga, right? So these are the three important things. If somebody asks what is karma yoga, we have to say these things. Okay, not we are not the doer. Okay, I am doing. No, it is body that is doing. Then this work is my work. No, this is body's work. And karma phala samyogam, that is not having karma phala samyogam. That means not having attachment to the fruits of actions. This is the these are the three that define karma yoga. And we will not do unless we are supported by jnana, because otherwise we will think, oh, why am I doing this, right? If I am not doing the work, then who is doing the work? Okay, so that question will come. So we have to if we have the jnana that I am the self, I am the atma, I'm not body, and body is the doer. Okay, body is the one that that is performing the work, and body is getting the result. Okay, I am not attached to that result. Okay, so that is if we do that, then we are performing karma yoga. So what Lord Krishna is saying is that our body is performing the action. The doership is not because of the Atma. Atma is not giving rise to the doership. Okay, Atma is, it is not Atma's work. It is not, Atma is not giving the work to the body. Atma is not giving rise to that work to the body or creating the work for the body, isn't it? Atma is not creating the work for the body. It is body's work. I mean, it is coming from the previous sloka also, right? I mean, so I am, say Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He has to fight in the war, right? Is it that Atma requires that body to fight? Whose work is it? Because he took birth as a Kshatriya, he has to fight in the war. So that belongs to the body, not to the Atma. That work belongs to the body. Okay, isn't it? It is the work is assigned to the body, not to the Atma. Don't think that we should. So I mean, this is little confusing, or I mean, we get attached to it because we think that this work is my work. No, this is body's work. Why is it body's work? Because body took birth in that particular. I mean, based on the place in the society or whatever is the categorization. That is that work is assigned to the body. Not Atma is not causing that work for the body. It is the work that is assigned to the body, not by Atma. Atma does not create the work for the body. Right? So if Atma is creating work for the body, that gets attachment, right? Right? Atma does not need any work to be done by the body, any special type of work to be done by the body. It is because Atma took birth in a particular body. Whatever is the work that body is doing, it is assigned to the body, not because of the Atma. So if Atma takes birth as a, let us say, soldier, okay, it is the soldier is fighting in the war because that he's soldier. The body is assuming the duty of a soldier, not that Atma is assigning the soldier work to the body. Right? So, or let us say someone is a businessman. Okay. So that Atma is not assigning the duty of a business, whatever business activity to that body. It is because the body took birth as in the businessman family, because it is nowadays most of as I said, right, like it is it's all service activities. Everybody is doing service activities. So because we are born into the body which is assigned the duty of service, the body is assigned, not because the Atma. So another corollary is that I should be doing certain type of activity in order to get moksha, will go away completely. Right? See, it is like if I am saying as Atma decides, oh, I need to get moksha. Oh, I need to perform certain activity. So I am giving the work to the body. Not needed. That's what Lord Krishna is saying. The body is assigned the work. Whatever work is assigned, if the body is doing it as Karma Yoga, it cleans the karmic bondage. That's why Arjuna, when he is decides not to fight, Lord Krishna is saying, no, don't do that, right? I mean, he should be the activity that is assigned to the body Arjuna, not Atma Arjuna. The body Arjuna has to be done by the body. How it should be done, that is given, right? So that is not that Atma has to do the work. That Atma took birth as Arjuna, so that work has to be performed by Arjuna, that body, Arjuna. Okay, so the doership is also, the body is doing the activity, so it is, the doership is assigned to the body. It is not like Atma is assigning doership to the body. Right? So, and then Atma is not, I mean, Atma does not have to do an activity in order to enjoy the fruits of the results. Right? So these three things, if we do, then, I mean, we are, I mean, that's what Lord Krishna is saying. So we have to perform the activities. The activities are done by the body. Atma is not creating the doership or the work or the attachment to the results to these embodied beings.
So, so even though, yeah, Atma not direct, not, I mean, it's not engaged at all, right? Like, I mean, I think in the last few slokas you read that, right? But it still gets the karmic bondage, even though it's not involved directly or indirectly, right? Body is doing the work, and but the results of that action that's being done by body, mind, and right, I think that will directly go to Atma. Right?
Yeah, so the
Engaged.
result of karmic bondage goes to the Atma, is assigned to the Atma, right? The result of the when we say fruits of the results, sorry, fruits of the activity or results of the activities, those are not given to Atma. They never, like, whether we earn, whatever amount of money or properties or relations or anything, nothing is going to Atma. Okay, so very important to understand, like a little bit confusing if we talk about the doership and the attachment to the results. Let us just take the action itself. That action belongs to the body. The body is doing the action. Okay, it is not that Atma has to, Atma needs some work to be done, so it uses a body to do an activity. When I say Atma needs some work to be done in order to gain something from that work, no. Atma does not have to do any work like that, right? So the work is not, so Atma is not the doer. If I say Atma has to make the body work, then someone can argue that Atma is a doer, right? Isn't it? Say boss makes subordinate work, subordinate is doing the work. But if subordinate is doing the work only because the boss is saying, then boss is the doer, isn't it? So Atma is not the doer at all. There is no connection. Atma doesn't have to make the body do a particular work. It is born in a particular body, so body gets certain duties to do, and it has to do. See, if you join in a company, right, you have to do the work that whatever is assigned in that particular company. It is not because you need something to be done, right? Of course, we get attached to it and all that. That is a separate thing. But when we join a company job duties are assigned because we joined like that. If you join another job, some other duties will be assigned to it. We don't say do the duties of let's say company A and company B, right? Different roles. We don't say, oh, I like company A's activities, so let me do in company B. It is not I deciding. It is because I'm in a role, right? joined a particular role, duties are assigned in that role, have nothing to do with it, right? Even if I want to do something else, I cannot do, I shouldn't do that, right? So if I'm no, let's say there's a play going on, somebody has to do sing song and someone has to dance, right? Instead of singing, that person goes and starts dancing. It's not going to work, right? Just so that person is assigned a duty of singing. He has to sing, whether he likes or not is a different question. Okay, so because this body is there in that particular situation, like taking the example of Arjuna, I am in this situation, the body. I'm saying that like Atma exists in Arjuna's body. In that situation, a duty is assigned to the body, Arjuna's body. He has to perform it. So if Atma, if he decides, I'm not going to do it, or he decides it is not his duty, let us say, to fight, he decides to fight, right? So then he is the cause. He's doing something. Okay, whether he stops the activity or whether he's doing the activity, he becomes the cause and he becomes the doer. Atma, so Lord Krishna is saying, Atma does not work, does not cause the body to work, does not need the body to do some work. It is the work is assigned to the body because it took birth in that particular. So it's like I'm joining a job. I'm a software developer in Java. It is assigned to me. I have to code in Java. I don't do anything else, right? So that is so the work is done by the body, not by Atma. Atma is not the doer. And because the body is doing the work, and you don't need body to do anything for you, right? So the results are also not for you. So when got it so far? Then who is doing the work? So you can ask. Atma is not doing the work, and body is achetan, right? Doesn't have any knowledge. Then why is the body working? That is answered in the next swabhavaha pravartate. So there are swabhavaha, Lord Krishna said here. So we are carrying, not our Atma, we are carrying the vasanas due to so many births that we took, right? And we did a lot of actions. Okay, whenever, in all those births that we had before. So there are subtle tendencies or impressions that are formed on top of Atma. Imagine like that, right? So those tendencies, they're not part of Atma. Okay, they're just carrying those tendencies. They're vasanas. We also call it as vasanas. They're formed due to association of ourself with Prakriti in all those births since the beginning of time, or since time without even having beginning. Like we don't know how many billions of years, billions and trillions of years it is going on. So that innate tendency in us is causing the body to work. Body by itself is not having, that knowledge. It cannot decide by itself. Like if a person dies, the body is not functioning, right? And you're saying, okay, Atma is not the doer. Okay, so even if Atma is not there, the body should function. Somebody may question like that. So when someone dies, we say that, okay, Atma left the body. If Atma is not doing the work, then body should be doing the work. And we know that body is not doing the work because when someone dies, the body doesn't do the work. Okay, so what made the body to work? It is the vasanas that we are carrying. Swabhavaha pravartate. This is very important. So there is Atma, body, and we are carrying the vasanas with us for so many so many births. Since so many births, those created impressions in us which will make us do the work, which will make not us, which will make the body do the work. Again, those vasanas are not Atma. They're separate from Atma. So if you say those vasanas are an attribute of Atma, then Atma becomes the doer. No. The vasanas are different from Atma. Okay? So you have Atma in its pure form. That Atma is covered by karmic bondage. It's carrying the vasanas, tendencies, impressions. So those impressions are making the body work. When Atma leaves, the body does not function. So doership is not an essential characteristic of Atma. So, and Atma in its pure form, excluding the vasanas. Vasanas are not part of the Atma. Atma does not give rise to doership, various types of activities, or it does not need the results of those activities. Okay? Atma is carrying the vasanas. Because of the vasanas, the body is acting. The body by itself also does not act. Okay? So, an example is an iron rod. Okay? Iron rod, normal temperature is, like at room temperature. You can hold it. Okay? Now, say, for example, black in color. Now, that iron rod, if you put it in fire, what happens? It acquires certain characteristics of the fire. It becomes red and it becomes very hot. Okay? So, when you touch that iron rod, it burns. So, that characteristic of heat, is it really the attribute of the iron rod? No. Because the iron rod was in the fire for a long time, it acquired the vasana. It acquired certain characteristics of that fire and it became very hot. So even when you move to another, like you take out the iron rod from fire and put it separately, still it is very hot. Right? So it is carrying the vasanas. Isn't it? Even though it is not the characteristic of the iron rod. And you can bend it, when it is very hot, you can bend it. It is not the characteristic of the iron rod, but it acquired the characteristic of softness. Okay? So, same way, we are in our pure form, don't have any vasanas. We don't need to do anything for ourselves. That is Atma. Right? But Atma, because it is going through birth to birth to birth, it is in the connection or association with Prakriti, it is acquiring the vasanas or tendencies. It is building those tendencies. And when it goes from one body to another body, those tendencies continue. Okay? And they make the body function in a particular way. Not that the Atman has the same characteristic of making the body function like that. It is the vasanas that make. So Atma is still not the doer. So yeah, when we we are doing the activities, okay, Atma is not the doer. Atma is the whatever activities that we are doing. It is not that Atma needs those activities. It is the activities that are assigned to the body, and the results are not for the Atma. Like whatever results, like oh, I need to I need to do a lot of punya to become a devata, right? So, for example, so that is again not for the Atma. Where that Atma is getting another body, either as devata or as an animal, right? Again, Atma is not changing. It is acquiring another body based on the karma and gunas. Atma is not changing.
I have a question, Andy.
Sure.
So when will Atma stop moving into different forms? Does it have any moksha? Is that
Yeah, Atma's final state is moksha.
oh, okay? Then it will stop going around. Okay.
Right. So that is what we are aspiring to. So the purpose of this Bhagavad Gita, learning Bhagavad Gita, is to know that we have a final state. Our goal is to reach that final state. So some focus on the self, some focus on the Paramatma. Okay, so focusing on Paramatma reaches the state of moksha. Okay, so focusing on the Atma reaches state of Kaivalya, where in both the cases we don't have the birth again. So that's the final state. I mean, again, it's important, like because we know we are learned, right? So we only seek the moksha state where we are always serving Paramatma. So that is the state we aspire to, because that is what Lord Krishna also said is the is the best of all, right? So that's what we will focus on, not the Kaivalya state. So yeah, that is the final state. All we are doing is to go to that state only. The Karma Yoga cleans the karmic bondage. When the karmic bondage becomes zero, then I mean, it is so big. I mean, so much that it will never become zero unless Paramatma blesses us. But we are continuously reducing the karmic bondage and going in that direction where one day Paramatma will say, okay, you are ready.
Yeah, that was my next question. I was thinking, did anybody achieve it? I mean, a human body, but we don't know, right?
We will, I mean, based on the scriptures, we know. Then Namalvar, Prahlada. So there are some we can say where Paramatma has guaranteed moksha to someone, that we know that they are, again, when Paramatma says you are going to attain moksha, at that instant they don't have to leave the body. They can continue. And then when their whatever duties that they are assigned to complete, then they will reach the state of moksha.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. It is a little confusing, and so I hope everyone got it. I think if we understand that Atma is not the doer and also body is not the doer by itself, right? Body is Achit, or doesn't have the knowledge, jnana. So it cannot do anything. So then it becomes confusing. So how is any activities happening? Who is doing the work then? Why is the body doing the work? The doership is given to the body only, but it is because of the vasanas. Again, the vasanas are coming because of the prakriti only. So again, that's why it is always attributed to prakriti only. You can't say that, oh, vasanas are the doership. Vasanas get the doership. Vasana is like a virtual soft thing, which is a reflection of prakriti or due to prakriti. So it is the body that is doing the work, and the body is the one that is the duties are assigned to the body. So it is body's work that body is doing, and the results are for the body. Okay, let's move on to the next sloka, 15. One moment. Sloka 15. Listen. Nadatte kasyachit papam
नादत्ते कस्यचित् पापम्
na chaiva sukrutam vibhuh
Achaiva
चैव
सुकृतं विभुः
ajnanenavrutam jnanam
अज्ञानेनावृतं ज्ञानं
tena muhyanti jantavah.
Tena
तेन
मुह्यन्ति जन्तवः
Listen to that.
नादत्ते
ते कस्यचित् तापं
चैव सुकृतं विभुः
आवृतं
अज्ञानेनावृतं
ज्ञानं
तेन मुह्यन्ति
मुह्यन्ति
जन्तवः
Lord Krishna is saying, in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna referred to Atma as Prabhu, or the master. Okay, master of the body. Okay, master of itself. Is not under the slave. It's not a slave either for karmic bondage or for the body itself. In this sloka, Lord Krishna is saying Vibhuhu, referring to Atma again. Vibhuhu, again, just to inform, some of the interpretations we took, Vibhuhu is all pervasive, is the meaning of it. So it must be Paramatma. He's talking about Paramatma. So the interpretation was given based on everything else is same, translated, as Sanskrit. It doesn't require much interpretation, but it attributed that to Vibhuhu, that is Paramatma. I would say that, please note that Vibhuhu refers to Atma only here. Vibhuhu is, even though it refers to as a, translation is all pervasive, the interpretation here is the based on the context. We are only talking about Atma. We're not suddenly going to Paramatma and then going to Atma again. We are always talking about Atma here. How the Atma is performing the duty, not Atma is not performing the duty, but how the duties are performed by the embodied beings. So when we are doing that, suddenly Paramatma doesn't come into picture. So here Atma is not limited to a particular body. All pervasive means it can be in any body. It's not that it is all pervasive at that moment. So an Atma that can take, because later in other slokas, and I hope we can get to it today, if not, the few slokas down, they talk about Atma in different bodies. So an Atma can take any body. There is no restriction. Right? It's not like one Atma, because we took birth as a human being now. We are reserved, we are reserved category of always getting human beings only, no matter what we do. There is no such thing. Okay? Same for devatas, same for animals, same for... so, of course, it becomes difficult to either move up and down. I mean, down is easy, move up is difficult. But it is not that an Atma is reserved a particular body. No reservation. So, even when we talk about human, it's not that a particular race, gender, ethnicity or country, there's no reservation again. It can take any of the bodies. So that is the context of Vibhuhu here, an Atma that can take birth in any body. Okay? So that's what we need to remember. So Lord Krishna is saying, na datte, na adatte. This does not remove. Kasyachit papam, sin of anyone. Nachaiva sukrutam, not even the punya of anyone. So Atma does not remove the papam of anyone and does not remove even the punyam of anyone. Okay? So papam is what is associated with the Atma. So, right, when we are talking about the sins that are assigned, or the karmic bondage which is having negative implications, okay, we call that as sins. So an Atma does not remove sin of anyone. Again, here if we say that Paramatma, then Paramatma does not remove sin of anyone. Paramatma cannot remove the punya of anyone. It puts limit on Paramatma. So that's why, so here the Atma, let's say we take birth in a particular body. We will not be able to remove the sin of, typically who do we want to remove the sin of? Who we consider as our dear, right? Who are, dear to us, children, family members, those who, friends. If you we cannot simply wish and say, okay, remove the sins of these people. Atma cannot do that. Atma cannot remove the punya of those we don't like. Some our enemies. We can't simply say that, okay, remove the punya for these people. No. Okay. Lord Krishna is saying, Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Ajnana is ignorance, or the what is opposed to the knowledge. Ajnana, that which is opposed to the knowledge. Okay, what is that which is opposed to the knowledge? Is our karmic bondage. So it is. I mean, it is not like one way of understanding is it's our ignorance. So not having the knowledge. Okay. That not having the knowledge is jnanam avrutam, is concealing the Gnanam. It doesn't really make sense, right? Not having knowledge or ignorance is concealing the knowledge. Okay, that is doesn't make sense. So the what is opposing that knowledge is our karmic bondage. The karmic bondage is enveloping the knowledge of the Atma. Okay, so this karmic bondage that we are carrying since so many births. Okay, that is unfortunately what is opposing that knowledge. We are not able to, our knowledge is not shining because of that karmic bondage, right? It's not that we suddenly acquired ignorance and then our knowledge is not shining. We are carrying the karmic bondage with us, okay, which is like forming, is concealing our knowledge, or you can say jnanam avrutam ajnanena, is knowledge is enveloped or concealed by the past karmas or karmic bondage. Okay, tena muhyanti jantavaha. By that, tena is by that, muhyanti jantavaha, living beings are deluded. See, we have this knowledge inherently. I mean, Atma in its pure form has the knowledge equivalent to Paramatma. Okay, but unfortunately, because we are carrying the karmic bondage, it is concealing that particular knowledge. Okay, so the why did Lord Krishna say about it does not remove papam of anyone or punyam of anyone? Atma is not friend of anyone or enemy of anyone. Typically, when we say, when someone is our friend, I want to, do good things for that friend, like removing the sins in a non-materialistic sense, or making friends or family members or things like that. So we want to do good things for them. Okay, we want to create good things. Okay, for friends. For enemies, we want to hurt them. Right? Okay, or we do not want to do good things for the enemies. For friends or family members or those who are those who we love, we want to do good things. Don't want to hurt them. For Atma, there is no such thing as friend or enemy. So there's no such thing like doing favors to somebody and hurting somebody. Atma by itself, in its pure form, has no friends or enemies. Everyone is equal, equivalent. So that concept of this friendship or relations or love and or hate and all that is not associated to Atma. We have to delink ourselves from it. These are bodily emotions. Okay, so since Atma does not have this concept of friend or enemy, there's no concept of removing the sins or removing the punya. our merits. Okay, but because we are having the karmic bondage that is covering our knowledge, we keep thinking about all these things. We associate, friendship and all that. So you got it. So karmic bondage is the enemy of our knowledge. Is opposed to our knowledge, or it is not letting our knowledge shine. It is covering our knowledge.
But ultimately, Paramatma is the only one has to decide, right? I mean, decision meaning, I know he doesn't take any papas or punyas, or he doesn't remove. But we also learned that, however, we follow Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. Unless Paramatma's blessing is there, we don't get a moksha.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So when we are thinking of the result is moksha, okay, and the actions that we are doing are the means for getting the result of moksha. The means is karma yoga. Okay, we attribute our actions to that result. Then we are not really performing karma yoga. See, one is a local level. Local level is, okay, I'm performing some work and I get the result. I'm associating that result, materialistic result, to that work. But when the result is moksha and the means is, let's say, karma yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga, and all this is a means. Thinking that I am following that means, so I am going to get the result, is against the concept, right? You should not attach yourself to that result. You should not think that the result is because of this work that you did. Okay, so it is Paramatma who gives the result, either moksha or your materialistic result as well. So we are, see, even in materialistic result, if you think that, oh, Paramatma is the one who is giving the result, well, let me not do the work at all, then you won't get the result, obviously. So we have to do our duty. Same way, in order to get the moksha as a result, we have to do our duty. But the duty, the performing of the duty as, let's say, Karma Yoga, we should not think that it guarantees me in this particular life I'm going to get the moksha because I did it by myself, right? So this action of Karma Yoga that I'm doing is also Paramatma's. I'm just an instrument. I'm doing, a service to Paramatma, and the result is moksha that I know of. That is my goal, but I don't associate that result to my activities. I won't delink Paramatma from that result. Paramatma is the one who gives me the result based on what I am doing. Okay, so yes, Paramatma has the capability of making our papas or sins or even entire karmic bondage go away just like that. Okay, he can take away sins. He can take away anything. I mean, basically, sins and merits are like positive and positive of the karmic bondage. We have to clean that up completely. Then only we get moksha. Otherwise, we have to take birth again to experience that karmic bondage, right? So at some point of time, he cleans it completely. Okay, so he has that capability of doing it, but not. We should not think that my actions caused that, force Paramatma to give, clean that, because it then Paramatma becomes dependent on our actions. He is not dependent on our actions. He is totally independent. But out of his, love and affection for us, unlimited love and affection for us, he will say, okay, I clean it now. So then, we get the moksha state. Okay, need not be, I mean, as I said, right, like need not be at the end of life. It could be any time. And then we continue with Paramatma's blessings, and then, after the duties are over, then we attain state of moksha. Again, Paramatma again has to give. It's not that, oh, I did my duties, so I'm going to get it. No. Yeah, that's why it is very important. Actually, in the next few slokas also, we are going to learn a very important concept. So which will clarify things for us. Again, Lord Krishna's words, not interpretations, things like that. So here, Paramatma does not see. He has a capability to clear our papa and punya, right? So he doesn't have to do it because I did something. So he is independent, but he has a capability. But simply stating, Paramatma cannot remove, say, papas or punyas, right? Then who will remove them, right? So he's the one who is giving the results to us. So I can't claim that Paramatma doesn't, do that action, right? Or he's incapable. Paramatma is not incapable of anything in this universe. Anything that we can think of can be, he's capable of. Okay, omnipresent, omnipotent, right? So he is capable of everything. So I shouldn't be interpreting that, oh, it's Paramatma here. And also, it doesn't also mean that Atma is spreading all in all the bodies. That cannot clear the problem. No, it is, again, as I said, another important concept going to come in the next few slokas that will clarify further. That's why we call it as Atma that can take birth in any being. So when that Atma is going from one being to another being, there's no concept of father for that Atma, son for that Atma, friend or enemy for that Atma, right? Isn't it? Like so there's no such concept. So it is not like, oh, let me show bias towards this, not having bias to that having bias is for or against, is our ignorance, because our knowledge is covered by the karmic bondage. If that karmic bondage is less, then our knowledge shines as our karmic bondage goes down. So that's why those who are at a very high level of state of closer to moksha, let us say that way, for them all this having hatred and running after one person and then trying to hurt somebody or going all out of the way to help someone won't be there for them. They will start seeing everyone equally. They will start loving everyone equally. That's what those concepts will come up, right? So when at a lower level, that because of the knowledge, this knowledge is covered by karmic bondage, people start either showing too much affection to the extent that, like Dhritarashtra, right, trying to help his son with all adharma. Okay, that will come. Or someone who really wants to hate and really hates, like again, Duryodhan hates Pandavas. Those will go away if the karmic bondage is less and the knowledge goes up. Knowledge starts shining, then we realize ourselves, and then there's no such concept of friend or enemy for the pure self. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you so much. We'll conclude with the concluding prayer.
Thank you.
Kaena vacha
Manasendriyarva buddhyatma
prakriti
prakriti swabhava
karomi yajjat
Om
sakalam
Yajnam Parasmai Narayanaya Samarpayami
Sriman
Narayanaya
Samarpayami
Samarpayami
Sarvam
Sarvam
Shri
Shri
Krishnarpanastu.
Krishnarpanamastu
Om
Om
Sadgurubhyo Namaha.
Sadgurubhyo Namaha.
Jai Shrimanarayan.
Jai Shri
Jai
Narayana. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thank you. Jai Shrimanarayana.